the use of drugs.
This brings about my question even more so. Kids that were born in the late 60s and early 70s, for some reason, a large percent of the parents were young black men, sort of painted a picture, and I was one of them, was painted a picture that everything was perfect. You can be anything. And you were about to, pretty soon, you know, when we got to our teens, you were about to run for president. So we were able to see things like there's no race issues in America. There's none of these. We didn't have to fight for a curriculum because we weren't told that there was black history that we were missing out on. Do you think that that has something to do with the way young men grew up now, especially young black men, with them not knowing who they are?
I don't know who was taught that, because they never was the truth. What I do know is that the struggle...
You mean taught that like everything is perfect in
Yeah,
America?
the struggle never ended. You know, in 55, Rosa Parks set in, Dr. King led the boycott. 1960, the sit-ins began. 1964, the Public Commission Bill. 1965, the Voting Rights Act. 1968, Dr. King killed in the middle of the Vietnam War.
But do you think it's a problem that the parents aren't teaching? That's my point. You, as a private citizen, and to your home, you teach it. But the rest of our parents, for some reason, have decided not to teach us that.
Sometimes as parents, sometimes we've never before been so attacked by the onslaught of a mass media doing parenting. This generation, age 15, has seen 18,000 hours of television. They've seen about 500,000 conflicts resolved with murder or violence, to about 12,000 hours of school, and fewer than 3 hours of church, chapel, or synagogues. The mass media quantitatively has more access to our minds and qualitatively penetrates more deeply than home, church, or school. Parents have never had this kind of competition before by the minds of their children as we've known today. And so much of our values are decadent, degenerate HBO values. They are values of self-degradation. The idea, it took us a long time to be called Mr. and Mrs. 1925, the Marcus Garvey Convention, they passed a resolution to make the word Negro a capital N, giving us some distinction. We sang songs like Above My Head, I Hear Music in the Air, There Must Be a God Somewhere. James Willard Johnson lifted her voice and sang. Jane Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Stevie Wonder writing Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King Jr. To go from that kind of using music to lift us up, sitting in the party, call me Mister, now to calling each other nigger and bitch and hoe, just to make money out of recycling degradation and make it self-degradation. That is a radical step backwards. When you're in a hole, you need a rope, not a shovel. We must affirm the best in us. And where there's weakness, connect it with strength and lift us. When we're slow, let those who run fast pull the rest along. But in a great struggle, we must lift as we climb.
With no promotion, young black men are able to sell drugs. Even with no radio promotion, we've been able to sell records. Is there any way that there can be a connection with some of the young, talented black men and some of our black business?
It comes down to we're free.
Mm-hmm.
We're free to consume drugs or to say no. Mm-hmm. We're free to sell drugs or not. I have some youth in school. I go to about 2 or 3 high schools a week, 4 or 5 jails a month. And it's how many of you have ever seen a Ku Klux Klansman in his sheet and hood and burning cross and a rope? Never seen one in our neighborhood. How many have you ever seen someone in your neighborhood who had a gun or who sold drugs? Everybody raise their hand. Your threat is not the Ku Klux Klan with the hood and the rope. Your threat is the brother with the dope and the gun. We never lost as many people to lynching as we now lose to drug wars. I said we never lost as many of our people to the Klan. as we now do to homicide and violence toward each other, we must go another way.